Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the last of the series for the healthy living classes. Sincere thanks to all our instructors and the viewers. I also want to acknowledge our sponsorship. Thanks, Mr. Zhang Li from Allstate for helping us with the Allstate Helping Hands grant. Thanks, John. Here's John.
Thank you so much. I was so happy to see everybody here. And I think it's really a good program that you guys learn lots of things during this pandemic. And I think I'm very happy to see everybody's safe and learning things at home. And Allstate Helping Hand is always happy to help organizations, communities for their activities. So I'm very happy to be here, and thank you all of you to support me as well and help me. And I'm very happy to be involved in this program. And thank you so much for inviting me today. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Next, Ms. Fang Yang, she will give us a short presentation on Mooncake Festival and traditions.
Okay. Hi, how are you everyone? Thank you so much for joining the last session of CST Healthy Living class series, Mooncake Cooking. Let's figure out first what and when a Mid-Autumn Festival is. What are the popular traditions of Mid-Autumn Festival? So let me sharing the screen. Mid-Autumn Festival is called 中秋节 in Chinese, 中秋节. So is one of the most important festival for Chinese people all around the world. So 中秋节 is celebrated on the 15 days of the 8 lunar months when the full moon returns to the sky. So what are the popular traditions of the Mid-Autumn Festival? So number one is the happy family reunion time. So during the festival, family members, no matter how far away from home, would try their best to go back home and get together with their parents. So this is much like Thanksgiving in the United States. So number two is eating mooncakes. So the mooncake is called 月饼 in Chinese, 月饼. The Mid-Autumn Festival is also known the Mooncake Festival. So the cake is moon-shaped dessert. It's a symbol of family reunion. So these beautiful and delicious mooncakes were made by Mrs. Yi Wang. So she will show you how to make these delicious mooncakes later. So number three is appreciate the bright moon. So enjoying the brightest full moon is called 赏月 in Chinese. 赏月. So the 月亮, I'm sorry, the moon is called 月亮 in Chinese, 月亮. So a bright full moon is a symbol of family reunion, reminding people of their hometowns and the loved ones. The Chinese people all around the world share the same tradition. Just like an Asian Chinese poem says, the moon was rising from the sea, and all the people were sharing the same moment. 海上生明月, 天涯共此时. So, okay, let's see how CST celebrates the Mid-Autumn Festival at Tuscaloosa.
常相恋，谁人有悲欢离合，月有阴晴圆缺，此事不能全，但愿日长久，千里共婵娟。千里共婵娟。我欲乘风归去，唯恐琼楼玉宇，高处不胜寒。切勿梦醒，何似在人间？穿出各地无常，不变，不应有恨，何时长相恋？谁人别时长？人有悲欢离合，月有阴晴圆缺，虽是不难全，但愿人长久，千里共婵娟。
Wonderful memory. Okay, so right now, please welcome Mrs. Yi Wang, show us how to make the delicious and beautiful mooncakes. Okay, I will transfer. Okay.
Thank you, Fang. You see in this picture is remember me as past years ago. Chinese mooncake is a popular cake for the Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival. Then I come to schools from China more 20 years ago. I really not easy by mooncake here. Middle Autumn Festival without mooncake to Chinese is like the Thanksgiving without turkey to an American. Before I decided to learn how to make mooncake, I have mooncake, red bee mooncake, coconut mooncake, and snow mooncake, and mixed nuts mooncake. I cooked mooncake for friend and my church on Mid-Autumn Festival. The most popular mixed nuts mooncake. This mixed nuts mooncake is also my family favorite. Today I will show you step by step how to make it mooncake.
Let's make the crust first, whose ingredients include half teaspoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of water, 175 grams of Golden Eagle syrup. Syrup can be made from scratch by simmering lemon and white sugar, but it's too much trouble to me. I like using Golden Eagle syrup, which is available in many grocery stores. It is much more convenient, and I like its color. This is my personal preference. 48 grams of vegetable oil, 270 grams of all-purpose flour. First, in a large mixing bowl, add baking soda and water to let baking soda dissolve. Add vegetable oil and syrup. And mix well together. After mixing well, add the flour to make a dough. You should start kneading. Over kneading will make the dough too tough. Once the dough is formed, stop kneading. Cover it with plastic wrap. And let it sit for 1 to 2 hours. While we are waiting, let's start making the stuffing. The nuts in the stuffing include 160 grams of cashew, 60 grams of almond, 15 grams of pine nuts, 140 grams of walnuts, 140 grams of raisins. Adding raisins can make the mooncake more tasteful. 45 grams of pistachios, 40 grams of sunflower seeds. You may choose whatever nuts you prefer and adjust the proportion according to your preference. Raw nuts need to be fried or baked. These 4 on the top are raw nuts. We're going to fry them. Use medium or low heat to fry the raw nuts. You should fry the different nuts one at a time because each will require a different amount of time to get cooked. Start frying the smaller nuts first, before the bigger ones, because the pan will get hotter as you cook. Keep frying until it turns into a light yellow color. Then put it aside. Repeat these steps for all the raw nuts. Let them cool on the side. While we are waiting for the nuts to cool down, let's start preparing the other ingredients. 50 grams of honey, 50 grams of vegetable oil, 40 grams of sugar, 120 grams of glutinous rice flour, 2 to 3 tablespoons of water, Glutinous rice flour needs to be stir-fried with medium to low heat. Fry it until it turns into a light yellow color. Once it's done, put it on a bowl and let it cool down on the side. Cut the nuts into smaller pieces so that it can be easily mixed later on. Do the same for the other nuts, but don't cut them too small, like powder, so that we can preserve the flavor better. Once it's ready, put all the nuts into a big bowl. Then mix the nuts together evenly. Add the cooked glutinous rice flour into the bowl. Do not add all, keep some aside for later adjustment, and stir together. Add sugar and honey. Then add the oil. And keep mixing. When no dry flour is visible and the ingredients are loose, add 2 to 3 tablespoons of water till the ingredients are stuck together into a big clump. Divide the big clumps into small portions by squeezing. Each portion should weigh 60 grams. Then roll each portion into a small ball. Make them tighter by squeezing with your hands. The ingredients can make about 15 stuffing balls. Once the dough is ready, divide it into small portions. Each should weigh 37 grams. Roll these into small balls as well. Put a plastic wrap over them to prevent them from drying. Now let's wrap them up and make mooncakes. Take one dough ball and make it rounder. Then with a thumb, press to make a hollow. Put one stuffing ball into the hollow. With one thumb, press down the stuffing ball. and with the other hand, slowly move the dough to cover the stuffing ball. Carefully move the dough to cover the stuffing ball. Patiently move the dough until it completely covers the stuffing ball. Make sure there is no gap between the stuffing and the wrap, then roll between the hands. Put a thin layer of dry flour on the balled up piece of mooncake. This ensures that it doesn't stick on the mold. This is a mold for a 100-gram mooncake. Put the mooncake ball into the mold and press evenly. Put the mold on the cutting board. Hold the tool with one hand and press down evenly with the other. Remove the mold and you will see a beautiful engraving on the mooncake. Once all the mooncakes are made, we can start baking. Preheat the oven to 390 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it's done preheating, put the mooncake in to bake. Set the timer for 7 minutes. While we are waiting for the mooncake to bake, we're going to mix an egg yolk with a tablespoon of water. After 7 minutes, take out the mooncake and brush a thin layer of egg yolk mixture as a glaze. Only put a thin layer or else it would mess with the engraving. Put the mooncake back into the oven and adjust the temperature to 340 degrees Fahrenheit. Set the timer to 7 minutes again and let it bake. After 7 minutes, take the mooncake out again. Brush another thin layer of yolk mixture onto the mooncake. Put the mooncake back in the oven and repeat the baking process by changing the temperature to 340 degrees and 7 minutes again. After 7 minutes, change the oven setting to boil low for 2 to 5 minutes. This makes the mooncake have a darker color. Oven temperatures may differ, therefore adjust your oven temperatures and baking time accordingly. After 2 to 5 minutes and you're satisfied with the color of the mooncakes, remove them from the oven. Remove them from the baking pan and onto a cooling rack. This allows them to cool down. The mooncake crusts might taste a little hard. Allow them to sit for 3 days in a closed container or cookie box for the dough to absorb adequate moisture and oil from the stuffing to optimize texture and taste. Even though the Cantonese-style mixed nut mooncake can be hard to make, the outcome in the end would be worth it.